What if you could wake up with a fully grown body but the brand new brain of an infant? How would you react to a world that looks like a Victorian steam engine dream? Can you imagine living in a house where a scientist plays God by stitching together dogs and chickens? Why does the movie starts in a grainy black and white while Bella is trapped inside her creator's home? Does the screen explodes into neon colors and purple skies only when she finally chooses to run away? What kind of a world allows for flying car cables and steam-powered carriages in the middle of the 1800s? Have you ever seen a version of Lisbon or Paris that looks like a surreal oil painting comes to life? Why are the men in this world so obsessed with polite rules while Bella just wants to experience everything? How does a woman with no filters or shame navigate a society that is terrified of her freedom? Is this medical experiment, or is it a wild journey to find out what human being actually means? Who would you become if you had absolutely no history and no one to tell you no? Let's begin. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, what a terrific journey this Poor Things film has. To be honest with you, I haven't watched a film this captivating and this thrilling in a while. Part of the reason has to do with the plot, because plot is all over the place and it's very hard to predict what's going to happen next, and that makes it, in my opinion, one of the better films of the entire 2026, which I haven't, of course, watched all of them, but the ones that I watched, I think this story takes the cake for me. So if you're the type of person who is interested in surreal steampunk vibe, and the stage and the worlds that's been made in this film they're top notch. They're cool. They're not going for realism. They're going for the art. And I think the direction and the art and the set designing has to be one of the best, if not the best, of the entire 2026 films. So Poor Things in a nutshell is a surreal coming-of-age story with a feminine twist on Frankenstein. So if you're the kind of person who likes Frankenstein but wants to see what could have happened if we put a girl into the story and the plot, then I think you're really going to enjoy not only the plot but also the themes that have been touched. The arts, the world that's been created are super steampunked, not going for realism, but in their way, they are one of a kind, to be honest with you. So if you're into it, then this film is for you. Let me break down 4 key pillars of this film that actually hold the whole story together and move the story forward to a place where we can say that this is something which has never been done, or I would say has been done but not in a particular way, because the whole journey of the protagonist Bella is one of a kind. So if you want to know my thoughts and my 2 cents, please subscribe to the video and let me get started with the first scene that's actually one of the key pillars of the entire story. Shall we? Now the movie starts off with a girl. She is up on the bridge and waiting to jump off the bridge, and she's there contemplating her previous life. We don't know nothing about her, and she then jumped off the bridge down into a limbo of ocean. Now the next scene, we saw the whole color of the film shifts into black and white, and we saw Bella, she's trying to play a piano. Now, if we talk about the emotions, I think the director and the writer is about to tell us that it's the inception just pretty much the inception of the films, because the films start with black and white and then work its way up to color. So this is exactly what the perceived image and the feeling of the film is, that we have gone all the way to the start. Now, she's trying to play the piano, but her body is not matching what's actually has to go in a normal body, because her body is twitching, her muscles are not properly coordinating with the mind, and this is where saw Baxter Goodwin. He is a well-known surgeon, and we learn that he actually planted an infant's mind into her brain, and the movie will tell us why and what actually gone into the whole plot. But I think this is the way of moving telling us that the girl there is actually a clean slate, and she is starting off with the infinite brain in an adult body, and she have to start her life all the way from the start, just like an infinite baby, and she has to learn to walk, to talk, and she has no idea what the social norms are and what are the things to do and what not to do, which we're going to see as the movie progresses. But this is the key pillar of the entire movie. As the movie progresses, we get to see the true character of Goodwin. He's a brilliant surgeon, but he's imposing Bella to do things his way, because to Goodwin, Bella is nothing but an experiment, and he wants to prove something to the world. And this is why he is confining Bella in his home and not letting her go outside of the world, because his experiment has some requirements, and this is one of the requirements, because he does not want to get external influences on her. Now, we get to see Duncan, who is a lawyer, to which Bella decides to go with and escape that confined, what we call it, a house. This is the first time we also see Bella taking up for herself, making her own decision, because up till now, everything has been influenced by Goodwin Baxter. And this is actually the start of the journey, because Duncan and Bella then moved and opened to a whole new world. They went to different places, and this is where the story expands, and this is where Bella actually went from a prisoner to a free individual. As Bella started her journey, she went to Alexandria. This is where she looks down from the ship and sees extreme poverty for the very first time. This is the moment when she transitions from a child looking for fun into a woman looking for meaning and justice. She begins to read books and think of herself, which causes herself to outgrow Duncan's shallow lifestyle. That goes to show that whatever we are or whoever we are always up for change, and we can always educate ourselves regardless of our circumstances. Now, in the midst of Bella's voyage from Lisbon to Alexandria to Paris, she got informed that Baxter Goodwin, the surgeon who did the surgery on her brain, is dying. She decides to show up there and went all the way back to London to pay him a visit, and goes to show that she wants to provide comfort in his final days. This is where we also get to meet a man named Elfie who claims that Bella is his wife. Now, this is where we also get to see Bella deciding for herself as opposed to ran from her past. She decides to confront her past and went with the husband because she's brave and she's not a child anymore. Now, we also get to see the general who is Bella's husband. He's a very violent man who wants to control her body and her mind, representing the exact opposite of what the freedom she found while she was on the travel. Now, when the general tries to trap her and forces her into a medical procedure, Bella outsmarts the general, and the scene is an ultimate proof of her intelligence and refusal of ever victim, because she does not want to become victim again. That again goes to show her maturity. Instead of just running away, Bella chooses to confront, and she uses her medical skills that she learns from Baxter and turns her husband, her real husband, into a goat, into an animal, quite literally. Now, in the final resolution of the film, we get to see Bella in a garden. She is studying to be a surgeon. She is no longer an experiment or a student. She is now the one who is in charge of her own life and her own decisions. Now, she actually went on a full life's circle, starting off from being a baby in adult body to a woman who cares of a person who is dying, and then she confronts a man who is violent and wants to impose stuff onto her, which is pretty much all the man in her entire life. From her husband to Baxter to Duncan to the lawyer and to the fiance who didn't get to marry her in the end. And I personally think this movie shows us that in whatever situation that you're in, you can always learn and grow and get to feed off of your own energy and positive vibes. So if you're the type of person in the end who likes to see something different, not the copy and paste, and wants to see if a Frankenstein, a girl, turns and goes into a Frankenstein world, this is what you get to see. A dark comedy and a political commentary on a women's world and how she saws what the world has been telling her her entire life. So in the end, I would give this film 8 out of 10 because of the world, because of the acting, and because of the art style, but more specifically the plot. The plot has been done tremendously well, and it keeps you guessing each step of the way. I'm Ali signing off. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel because I'm making these videos, and there are a lot of other film reviews that are on the way who are pretty much surreal, bad, disturbing, and dark. I'm Ali signing off. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.